Good morning, everybody. And yes, the button has been pressed. Every night, my grandson and I argue over who's going to press the button. And of course, I always let him win. But we always have, no, it's my turn. No, it isn't, Mosey, it's me. I'm going to press. No, no. And I said, but it's my turn. Surely it's my turn by now. And then he presses the button on me. And that's it till the next day. Anyway, the button has been pressed. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Are you wondering? Excuse me. Are you wondering what I'm talking about? Yes, I know. I still have this wretched cough. Anyway, so it is the 26th of January. We're nearly at the end of January. How come we're almost a month into the new year? I don't know about you guys, but it's sped along for me. 1 minute it was Christmas, the next minute it's New Year, and now here we are, and everybody's talking about Valentine's Day. I know, but what is it? 3 weeks to Valentine's Day or something? 3 or 4 weeks to No, it must be 3 weeks to Valentine's Day. Oh boy, oh boy. Well, I hope that all of you watching, I hope you've got a loved one who's going to send you a Valentine, or someone who loves you sending you flowers, or gone are those days for me, unfortunately. But there we are. I had my time. I had my day. I'm trying to think what was the best and the most amazing Valentine's Day that I ever had. And now I'm thinking about it. Well, it was like maybe 2 days after Valentine's Day, of course, I got the best gift in the world for Valentine's. February the 14th, my grandson was born. So, yes, not only is it Valentine's Day, it is also my grandson's birthday. He will be 10 years old. A decade. How could that be? How did that go by so fast? Anyway, all right, before we begin, first of all, let me say good morning to Grey Eagle. I'm sorry, you're going to have to put up with this coughing. I have to put up with it, and you have to put up with it. Sorry about that. Good morning to my spirit guide, Grey Eagle, who, as always, is standing to my right side. Yes, he is. And so I'd like to say good morning to Chris. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Rosemary.
Are you locked in the cupboard again?
Yes, I wish you would let me out sometime.
No, sorry. Have you heard that? Have you heard there's a comedian who does the man trapped in the mouth? Have you heard that
No.
one? And he sort of he keeps his mouth shut. Let me out. So it's really very funny. But anyway, it's not quite like that for you. I'll let you out for lunch, maybe, if you really behave yourself. All right. So, good morning to everybody now. And how are we doing, Chris? I know people are still logging on a little bit, right?
Yeah, they are, but we're rolling along pretty well.
All right. So, let me think. I'm trying to think what I can tell you about this week. What's happened? Oh, yes. No, I've forgotten. Oh, yes. Chris and I went for a fabulous, fabulous, lovely walk on the beach. There's a great beach close to us. It's only less than a 10-minute drive, actually. And they have boardwalks going all the way along the sort of half the length of this beach, and it's a really lovely walk. So if you don't want to get into the sand and get dirty and gritty and all the rest of it. Of course, there are times when we want to do that, right? But if you don't want to do that and you're just wanting to take a stroll and watch the sunset or what have you, there's this great beach with these fabulous boardwalks, and you can just walk along. And I have to say that certainly in the area that I live in, which is on the west coast and close to Sarasota. We live in Sarasota County. I do have to commend the powers that be in Sarasota County. I do have to commend everybody because the beaches are amazing. First of all, they are free. I know you don't have to park your car. Practically every beach has a great car park. Um, a lot of the beaches have facilities. They have toilets. They have showers. I know. Don't you believe this, right? They have toilets. They have showers. They have, you know, they have wheelchair ramps. They cater for just about everybody. So the beaches are free. Let me see what else. And almost practically every beach has at least one, if not two, showers that sort of sit just off of the beach, so you can shower before you get in your car. There are foot showers and there are big tall showers, uh, all free. Oh golly, am I enticing you to Florida now? Am I enticing you to the beaches that I enjoy so much? I mean, I have to say that the facilities are amazing, and it's down to Sarasota County. So thank you, Sarasota County people, for all of the hard work that you do, and so on. And also, if you drive along the beaches here, there are benches, there are tables and chairs. They have these little sort of like little tiki bars with little straw roofs and benches and tables and things you can find, so that you can often find places to sit, you can often find places to eat. Uh, what else? And of course, yes, and of course, I've probably forgotten the most important thing. The sands are beautiful. They are white, or sort of like that wonderful sort of gentle, rich brownish white color, soft, clean can be. You never see any litter on the beaches. It's amazing. And the ocean. Wow, well, Oh, it's not the Mediterranean, is it? What is it? It's the Gulf. It's the Gulf Coast. And I was back in I was back in Greece then for a minute. Sorry, I forgot where I was. Uh, so we're on the Gulf Coast, and the as I've said, the beaches, the sands are beautiful, the beaches are wonderful, as clean can be. Somebody must clean up. Another wonderful thing about the beaches is that you can often go and you can see turtle nests on the beaches, and the people who uh, take care of the beaches, whose responsibility is to make sure that everything on the beaches goes well. There must be somebody. There must be a team of people, somebody's, because they do a really great job. But you can see where they put stakes around and tape around where they know there are turtle nests or turtle eggs laid, so people can't get into them, and everybody's extremely respectful. They have a turtle watch. Would you believe that they have a turtle watch? And people volunteer to go out in the mornings and in the evenings to check, to see what's going on with the turtles, to see if they've laid eggs or what have you. There's also another rule, because, again, Sarasota County seems to be very, very keen on making sure that everything in nature goes as it should. Uh, they make sure that you're not allowed to have lights on. If you live close to the beach, you've got to turn off any lights that interfere with the beaches until a certain time, uh, because they'll disturb or even drive away the turtles. Isn't that amazing? And as I've said, most people, I think pretty much everyone who walks these beaches, most people are extremely, extremely respectful of what's going on. Then, of course, we have the dolphins, which are more often than not out. You can go to the jetties, they call them the jetties, and you can see the dolphins jumping and leaping and doing what they do. And there are lots of pods. Sometimes you can see three or four pods at the same time. And then, of course, we have the manatees. Yes, we do. We have the manatees. And the rule is that you're not allowed to go near the manatees. You're not allowed to swim close to the manatees or touch the manatees. And if you are caught, which has occasionally happened, there was a lady riding on the back of a manatee a few years ago, and she got whipped off the beach pretty sharp by the beach police at some point, and I'm sure she got a very hefty fine. But there are places also in Florida, and about an hour away from where I live, you can go and you can actually you're allowed to swim with the manatees and the dolphins yes, in the ocean. Aside from all of that, we've got the sun and we've got the blue skies. Shall I stop now? Shall I stop? Am I making you feel really, really ticked off that you're sitting there freezing cold in front of your fires, or cozy and nice in front of your fires with the snow coming down and the wind whipping around and all of that? So I'll stop. But I just thought you might like to know exactly where it is that I live and how fabulous it is and how beautiful it is here, and especially at this time of year, because when people think of Florida, they think of heat wave after heat wave after heat wave. Well, it's something like 70 degrees here this morning. It's cool, it's breezy, it's beautiful. And we love every single minute of it. All right, Chris, I'm done. So we should have everybody signed on, or pretty much everybody signed on, signed up, or whatever it is they have to do. So, excuse me again, sorry.
So
Why?
Dean has already responded to your Florida comments
Okay.
with Florida question mark,
Yeah.
alligators, poisonous snakes and spiders, high humidity, no snow in winter, and no thanks. LOL.
Well, okay. To address that, Dean, the alligators keep to themselves. The poisonous snakes, if you're in an urban area, which I am, you really don't see much of that going on. Let me see. I know that in your neck of the woods they have rattlers, so we're not the only people who have snakes here, and rattlers can be very deadly. So let's not pretend you don't have poisonous snakes in your area too. I was in Vermont when I had the farm in Vermont. Oh gosh, the lady who owned the farm, who left the farm to me, she was wonderful, but she used to let anybody and everybody in the town use her fields as a dumping ground because she had something like, what was it, 800 or 900 acres of land. So you'll just yeah, just put it in the back field over there, it'll be fine. Well, somebody dumped an old school bus, and we couldn't get near it because the school bus actually, by the time we got to it and investigated, was filled, and I mean filled, with rattlers, with rattlesnakes. So, you know, so, and the alligators, if you leave them alone, they leave you alone. That's, that's all I can say to that. You don't, you're sensible. You don't go stand close to them. You don't say, "Ooh, here I am." You don't do any of that. You pay attention and you're careful, and they leave you alone. And at the moment in my lake, we have about a 7.5 foot alligator, and he swims around lazily. You see him from time to time. Chris has been watching him, I know, taking photos of him, but he minds his own business. And as long as you don't put any little dogs in front of him, he's going to be fine. He's going to leave you alone. So yeah, so every state has its ups and its downs, but I think I would take alligators over freezing snow for freezing winter for 7 months, which is what we had in Vermont. So you had 5 months of something, which you could call summer, I suppose, and 7 months of, well, sometimes cold, sometimes freezing, sometimes, sort of 15 feet deep ice in the ground. And then when the spring comes, all the ice starts to melt and all the roads start to heave up because the ice and the water is melting and it's pushing the roads up. And we can all say the best and we can all say the worst of where we live, can't we? But anyway, everywhere, I think England is probably the safest, the gentlest, and the nicest place. France, the south of France is beautiful, on and on. Let's forget that now. Chris, who have we got? What's going on?
Barb is saying the change of seasons is absolutely beautiful here in Illinois.
I bet.
Fall colors. Wow. Don't you
Yes.
miss that?
No. Oh, it took me a minute. It took me a minute there to think about it. No, I don't miss that because yes, it is beautiful, but I can get on a plane and fly back there, or go and visit friends if I want to and see it. I don't have to live there year round to see the fall colours. And I know Vermont has 6 seasons. They have, yes, I know they do. I promise you, they do. They have spring, summer, fall, winter, stick season. Now I've told you it in the wrong order. Let me do it again. They have spring, summer, stick season, fall. That's right. No, wait a minute. Spring, summer, fall, stick season, when all the leaves come off the trees and everything looks so bare and awful and cold and windy, and then they have winter, and then after winter they have mud season, and then you go back to spring again. So no, I don't, not one little bit have I ever thought, oh, I wish I were back in Vermont. Ever. Never, 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 never thought it. Although I will say, for all of you out there in Vermont listening and loving it, it is one of the most beautiful, beautiful places, because they do have incredible fall foliage, and the winters there when you're inside. I don't go out sporting, so it's not. I'm not a sports person. I don't like the cold, but when you're gazing out, it's just snowed. The sun is shining and glistening on the snow, and everywhere is white and pristine. And that's how I first saw Vermont, and that's how I first fell in love with Vermont. I forgot that it was going to be freezing cold as well. So everywhere has its beauty, and Vermont is, for those of you who are thinking, I really hate Vermont. No, not at all. It's a beautiful, beautiful place, just not for me. Not anymore. Keep going, Chris.
Okay, Tracy's saying hello from Paris.
Hi. Oh, Paris. Oh, nice. I like that. Whereabouts in Paris?
Mark says, so nice to see you as always. Lisa says, oh, I'm sorry.
Mark, I hope you're feeling better. Yes, keep going.
Lisa says, find the best of every day.
In every way. Yes, I agree.
Cheryl says, I was born in Florida in July and came out into air conditioning screaming, I hate the cold.
I love that. But do you still? Where do you live now? Are you still in warm, sunny Florida? I've never understood the humidity thing, but I have heard lots of people say, "Oh God, it's so humid today." But for some reason or another, and I've no idea why, I can't really ever tell if it's humid. I only have to listen to other people saying how humid it is, but it doesn't seem to affect me in any way, shape, or form. So I suppose I'm lucky with that, right?
Yeah. Cheryl says, we just had 25 centimeters of snow yesterday. I think that's somewhere between 9 and 10 inches, if I recall.
Oh my gosh, goodness me. Freezing, freezing. Yes, but great snowmen. I love to, when I'm in New York and it snows and Reese is outside making snowmen, not with me. I just watch and encourage from the window, and I stay inside and say, well, I know I'm a party pooper. I did used to go out there, but now, I'm done. I'm over it. But he makes some great snowmen. I wouldn't let him be on his own. If he was making his snowman on his own, I'd probably go out there and help him. But no, no, thanks. No, but I do love seeing Reese having a great time. Yes. Okay.
Cheryl's asking, does Gray Eagle have any insights as to what is wrong with my friend Fran in Fort Myers? The doctors can't find what is wrong with her.
I can only suggest, because I would never attempt something like this without either first seeing or talking to her, and getting a feel, and it would be irresponsible of me to excuse me, to even attempt to do that now. But if she would like to email, or Fort Myers is not very far away, we certainly she could certainly come. We could take a look at her, and she could tell me her story, and we'll see if we can help in any way. That doesn't mean we can, but Fort Myers is not that far away. So yes, we could. And we could even give her some healing if she'd like, right, Chris? We could absolutely do that.
Yeah.
Yes, I like that idea. Okay.
All right. Eric's wondering how the roof project is going.
Well, it's still going. They have, excuse me, they have put on whatever that is, the sticky stuff that they put on before they put the tile on. And we've been waiting for the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks now for the inspector to come before they can put the tile on. Who knows? Who knows when? And the pool cage is still a wreck. And my garage window in the wind is banging and flapping because it's loose and it's probably going to come out anytime soon. And on the project goes. And now we have the bathroom. I don't know if I told everybody, but the bathroom ceiling fell in. Aren't we lucky? It had water damage. Water damage came in and just one day Chris was here, thank goodness. One day she was just about to go to bed, curled up all nice and tidy and asleep, and she heard a crash. And her first thought was, what has the cat done? And the second thought, she came out, she couldn't find anything, couldn't see anything. And then there was another crash. And she realised it was coming from the ceiling. Yes, my bathroom ceiling fell into the bathtub and scratched all the bathtub. And aren't we lucky? It's an ongoing project here right now. I have to be honest, I did get a little upset. I got on the next plane, which was a nightmare because that was the day when all the planes all over the country stopped. But I went and was able to get on a flight, thank goodness, and here I am dealing with all this stuff now. But something. What can you do about it? You have two choices. I don't know if you all remember, but I used to do a show with my friend Al Pisano, and we should do that again. Everything is attitude, and we used to talk about attitudes and how people sort of had different attitudes about different things in their lives, and so you know I can sit here, weep and wail. I don't think I haven't done it, but I can sit here, weep and wail, and indulge myself in, oh, poor me, look at me. Or I can remember that there are so many people worse off than I am, which there are. So many people were far more affected by the hurricane than I was. But there are so many people going through awful, terrible, terrible tragedies. People who are sick, people who are dying. So my bathroom ceiling fell in, and so what? So I'll get it fixed at some point. It fell in 2 weeks ago, and every time I go into the bathroom, there's a big, gaping hole, huge, gaping hole in the ceiling. What am I going to do about it? The only thing I was worried about was are there any creatures in the attic that might find their way down into the bathroom? So far, so good. Anyway, all right, keep going, Chris.
Well, Rosemary, February 4th, you have an event coming up on Saturday through Infinity Foundation. Did you want to
Yes.
speak about that at all?
Yes. Well, it's a webinar. Do you know how much the tickets are, Chris? I don't remember how much the tickets are.
I think it depends if you're an early purchaser or, just in time purchaser. So I don't want to quote a price.
Oh, okay, but it's not that expensive, I don't think at all.
No.
Anyway, yes, we're doing that. We're going to be talking about the bottom brick. For those of you, sorry, I'm going to be coughing in a minute. For those of you who don't know about the bottom brick, you need to go to the website and check it out, rosemaryaltea.com. Go to the website. It's great. You'll see all these things. And we're going to be talking about, the things that have affected us, the things that have changed us, perhaps. We're going to be talking about why those of us who have no self confidence, why that is. Excuse me. I'm so
God
sorry.
bless
I'm,
you.
I'm sneezing. I'm coughing. Just goodness me. Should I be in bed? No. Why would I be in bed? Anyway, so we're going to be talking about, sort of what makes us tick, basically. We're going to be talking about some of the incidents. I'm going to hopefully to have someone, a volunteer, to take them through the bottom brick exercise, so you can see, and even do it for yourself. Do it for yourself as you're going along with me on that, and that's going to be an interesting webinar because we all have hang-ups, don't we? We all have those things that it's either self-confidence or maybe we know we're being arrogant, but we don't know how to stop ourselves. And often arrogance comes from defensiveness and so on. Sort of you, we can often be defensive. We all of us have hang-ups. Where did they come from? what's going on? How can we fix them? What should we do? Sort of, because, and so much of our lives is learned behavior. We learned it from our parents. How do we unlearn? Excuse me. How do we unlearn what we've learned? So this webinar is going to be talking about all of that stuff and more besides. And there'll be, of course, time for questions and that sort of thing. It's going to be a fun webinar. I think we're going to have fun. We're going to enjoy ourselves on the 4th. So that's not this coming weekend, but the following weekend, and it's on a Saturday. So do join us if you feel. You can find information on the website, or you can email Rosemary at rosemaryaltea.com. You can email and just put in the subject line, seminar or webinar, whatever, and we'll know what it is you want, and we'll know how to help you. All right, so that's that. Okay, keep going, Chris.
Barb wants to know, well, Barb is saying, Rosemary, I
Yes,
know you're busy,
yes,
but
Bob.
have you done any more work on the book?
No, I haven't. Oh, now you're making me feel bad. Bad. I mean, yeah, no, it's time for me to get it out again. But it's really, it's tough, isn't it? When there's so much of everything going on, and I promise I'll promise I'll start again. Probably not this weekend. We've got the builders coming this afternoon again to check out the bathroom and to see what we have to do with the bathroom. But I'm going to try. Let's say I'll maybe, if I have time over the weekend or maybe even on Monday, I'll get right back to it, Bob.
Mark says, I have questions regarding dreams, and I
Oh,
wanted to know if Gray Eagle has insights on them. I
well,
have dreams that are so
hold on a minute. Mark, you know that I am not the dream expert. We can try and help you, but just giving you a heads up, I am not that dream expert that you're looking for. Go ahead.
Continue with the comment.
Yeah.
I have dreams that are so powerful that I remember them even though it's been some time. Is there a meaning behind these poignant dreams? Some just wake me from sleep, others make my heart pound.
Well, I think that dreams have their place. I think sometimes dream, and remember, I am not the dream expert, but sometimes, sometime a dream is simply that. It's a jumbled mix of what's going on in your head, your worries, your concerns, all the stuff that's going on in your head. So, a lot of the time we dream about those things, and trust me, they can be nightmares all of their own. Trust me, that I know that. But but even though they just come from our own mind, our own anxieties and so on, we can still learn from them if we sort of sit back and think and dissect them a little bit and take a breath and say, okay, what did I learn from this? We can always learn something from that. But there's also I think we have to we acknowledge that some dreams are not dreams at all. Some dreams are the experiences that we have while we're traveling, or some dreams are the experiences that we have when people from the spirit world, when our loved ones from the spirit world come to visit with us. So lots of dreams, lots of different meanings, lots of different reasons why we dream. But I am, as I'm going to repeat, not the dream expert, so I'm afraid I cannot interpret your dreams. I would probably make a muck of it. Anyway, Chris, keep going.
Ornella's on.
Hi, Ornella.
Ornella, Ornella says, Hi, Rosemary. It's nice to see you.
Thank you.
Today, it's my birthday. Thanks for everything.
Well, happy birthday to you, Ornella. Happy birthday to you. I'm hoping everybody's singing now. Happy birthday, dear Ornella. Happy birthday to you. I hope, my darling, that you have a wonderful, wonderful day, that you get all of what you wish for. If not all, then most of it. But this reminds me, now this person that I'm going to wish a happy birthday to next. His birthday is not today. I think it was a couple of days ago. But to Uncle Dan. And Uncle Dan is Chris's Uncle Dan. And Uncle Dan, my darling, I understand you're 93 years old, 2 days ago or something. I know that you have left your family and especially Chris and her siblings. I know that you left them with so many fabulous, fabulous, wonderful memories. And I also know that you have been a joy in their lives. So it's my joy and my pleasure because for all of you listening, I know Uncle Dan. I've spoken to Uncle Dan. He's the most amazing. Yes, Dan. Yes, you are the most amazing and fabulous person. Goodness and kindness personified. So I hope you have a wonderful 93rd year. I hope you get everything you wish for. And I hope to talk to you again one day. We shall have to see about getting that fixed up. I did say hello to you the other day. I don't know if you remember, but I peeked over Chris's shoulder to say, "Hi, Uncle Dan." And yes, he's not really my Uncle Dan, but Uncle Dan. You're Uncle Dan to me. So happy, happy, happy birthday, Uncle Dan. Got to sing it. Everybody sing it. Come on. Happy birthday, Uncle Dan. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Have a fabulous and a wonderful 93rd year, my darling. I'm thinking about you. All right, Chris, come on, let's go.
Thank you for doing that. Leslie is on.
Hi,
Good
Leslie.
morning.
Good morning.
Can't Gray Eagle give you advice about your cough?
Of course. What do you think? You think I'm doing this all by myself? Yes, that's all I'm saying about that. Yes. Okay, Chris, keep going.
I think we need some more questions in the chat room.
Okay.
Um,
You know the rule, everybody. If you're not participating, we're going to stop. So um, keep, you if you want me to talk to you, you've got to talk to me.
so
Um,
Annika's sharing a comment. My first date with Neil was watching Avatar, the movie. For our second date, he asked me out to dinner at a Chinese restaurant for
oh,
Chinese New Year, but it also happened to be Valentine's Day.
yes. Well, I think I'm not sure what date Chinese New Year is this year. I think last year it was on the 12th of February. It's usually around Valentine's Day, and I love Chinese New Year. And whenever I went to Hong Kong, I would more often than not go in or around the month of February, and I was always able to celebrate New Year, and it's an amazing, amazing event. So, yes, for all of you who celebrate New Year out there, Chinese New Year, Happy New Year to all of you. We'll have to figure out what date because it's coming up very
It
quickly, I think.
actually just happened last weekend, Rosemary,
Oh
and
no!
we went
Oh,
into the year of the rabbit.
oh no! Did I miss it? I missed it. I totally missed Chinese New Year. It's early this year, then. Wow. Anyway, the year of the rabbit. All right. Well, I'm,
All
I'm
right,
not sure,
then
not even sure what that means, but maybe somebody will tell me. Keep going, Chris.
Barbara has a comment. Hello, my husband Don died June 5th, 2020. My grief is still with me each day, but I cope because all the help from you and Gray Eagle. My consultation last year, meeting you in Connecticut, and your shows give me strength and hope. I'd be lost without your guidance and wisdom. Thank you so very much.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. How wonderful. And you were in Connecticut, and I'm trying to now picture, and I think I do know now who you are. Yes. And didn't we have a wonderful time in Connecticut? It was fun, wasn't it? Not long enough, of course, but fun. And I'm really pleased that I was able to help you cope. And you know that your husband would want you to smile Isn't that awful when we have to smile when all we want to do sometimes is cry, but we have to smile for them as well as for ourselves. And you have, all I can tell you is you have the most amazing, amazing attitude, and good for you, because you know, you think you get your strength from me, but I think all I do for people is to show them and to to encourage them, but to show them that they have strength within them, and I encourage them to tap into that strength. And you're obviously tapping into that strength, my sweetie. And of course, you also know your husband is watching over you every second of every day. So, just keep doing what you're doing. And yeah, that was surprising. I have someone popping in here, um, waving a hand and talking about a birthday. Here we go again, another birthday. I think your husband is trying to say something to you, just waving. And I've got to mention a birthday, and he's there. He'll no, got it wrong. Got it wrong. Wait a minute. He will be there to celebrate, or was there to celebrate. I'm not quite sure what he means, but anyway, that's a very quick. Wow, look at that. Aren't you lucky? It came out of the blue. I didn't expect. Just saw him out of the corner of my eye there. Okay, keep going, Chris.
Rosemary Ornella is saying thank you for your birthday wishes. Let's see. Eric is confirming that last Sunday was the Chinese New Year and that rabbit has everything to do with good luck.
Oh, right. Oh, of course, rabbit's foot. Yes, the rabbit's foot. Okay. All right. How are we doing? Do we have any more questions? Any more things going on in the chat room? Or,
The queen,
or do we get an early ending to the show today?
the Queen of Shades says, I want to work through my fears. At times I feel stagnated. Is there anything I can do to help with this?
There's a lot that you can do. Let me see. I know, my little queen, I know that you are the perfect candidate for the bottom brick. So if you want to know more about that, just email us. Just email Rosemary at rosemaryalte.com, or you can email Chris, KRIS, Chris at rosemaryalte.com, and just email, and we could certainly help you with that. Now, here's the thing: you're asking, is there anything that you can do? And what the bottom brick does, it does show you exactly what you can do, and it sheds light on the reasons why this is going on with you. It gets to the excuse me, it gets to the heart of the matter. The bottom brick helps us to find that. I always believe that if you can't root of a problem, you're never going to solve it. There's always going to be that, trying to cover it up, or there's something buried. You have to get to the root of it. It's not easy. It can be painful sometimes, but it's only painful for a moment. It only stings for a moment. And then you have that aha, that's, yeah, I see that. That's what happens. And if you're unsure about what the bottom brick is, do go to the website. You'll see some people going through the bottom brick exercise and how it works for them. And I don't think we've had anyone who does the bottom brick exercise, I don't think we've had anyone it didn't work for. So even though you were doing the bottom brick, you would do it with me. Well, it's not about me telling you what to do. It's about me helping you to discover where the root of the problem is, and then working through and having those aha moments where you know exactly how you can help yourself. So do think about this. We're offering this to you. So do email us if you want to know more. Okay, Chris.
Mark wants to know, when we are all on these live shows listening to you, do many of those we know in the spirit world come to listen in and hope to connect with us?
Of course. Yes. They love the shows, excuse me, just as much as Grey Eagle and I. Sorry, love the shows. And yes, of course, our loved ones in the spirit world are often uh, peeking in to see what we're up to, what we're doing. And I'm watching this great series at the moment on TV. And I don't know if any of you get Acorn TV, if you know what Acorn TV is. It's they have a lot of British shows. They have some Australian and so on and so forth. They have different shows on, and it's a great channel. Um, and there's a series at the moment called, what's it called? No Offense. And I was up until 2:30 this morning watching that next episode because I was on the edge of my seat. If it's a crime drama thing. If you don't like that kind of thing, you don't. But anyway, why am I talking about that? Oh yes, because at one point I literally, watching the show, jumped out of my skin, and Gregor was laughing so hard at me because I'd gotten so involved in the show. So yes, everybody in the spirit world who wants to join in joins in. Yes, Chris, keep going.
Tracy would like to know, can a
Yes,
toxic mother-daughter relationship resolve after death?
after that,
After death.
yes, actually, and weirdly, again, it's the bottom brick. Um, because the issue isn't, and this is when we're doing the bottom brick, I feel as if I'm sort of hammering the bottom brick to you, and I don't mean to be, but when we do the bottom brick, it's not about looking to the people who hurt you or harmed you or caused you to be nervous or whatever. It's not about pointing the finger. It's about finding the reasons why you feel the way that you do, helping you to resolve them, helping you to figure out if you can pinpoint that exact moment when that first little tiny drop of poison dropped into your relationship, the mother daughter relationship, let's say. If you can find that and pinpoint that and understand what happened to you and your reactions, and why the person who sort of drop that poison into your life, why they did it. If we talk about it's about the actions of others and how they affect us. And I think that it's when we do the bottom brick, I say to people quite clearly, this is not about pointing fingers. This is about looking at your parents and accepting that they are human beings with faults and failings, just as we all are human beings with faults and failings. And it helps us to deal with the situation at hand. Um, if you still have issues with the mother daughter relationship, those issues are much more with you than they are with your mother, I am sure. Although she's probably desperate and trying to figure out how to help you to get over this stuff. So again, the bottom brick exercise is extremely helpful for that. And not just with mothers and daughters, but in any relationship, that you have where someone dies and they leave the relationship on a bad note. Um, a consultation works really well. The bottom brick exercise works really well. Just getting to know and to understand why other people's reactions cause why other people's actions cause a reaction in you. And again, this is a topic that we're going to talk about in the webinar on the 4th. So yes, things can be resolved and are often resolved. I can remember a client of mine many years ago. She came to see me, and her mother had died, and she was extremely nervous, very, very nervous. She desperately wanted to talk to her mother, but she was afraid that her father would come through because her father had been very abusive, sexually and emotionally very abusive to her. And I did see her father, but she asked me, please, if you see him, I don't want to hear from him. And It was a strange situation, but it was her choice. Things can be resolved, you know, quite quite effectively. I was going to say quite easily, but I don't think quite easily is the right word, but quite effectively through having a consultation. Things can be resolved, misunderstandings can be sorted out. But again, if it's about you holding on to and wishing or hoping for something different that's never going to happen now because she's gone, then the bottom brick might be just the way to go for you. Okay, Chris.
This is from Sandra. My son's passing anniversary is coming up in a few days. This day is always hard for me. I'm wondering, do they celebrate Transition Day on the other side like a birthday? I know it's a crazy question.
Not a crazy question at all. Um, First of all, let me say how so sorry I am for you for your loss. Uh, but I know that you know you're asking me, so I know that you know that he's with you and often visits with you. So I know that you know he's okay and that he's safe. Excuse me. But yes, they do have celebrations and they do celebrate. Now, I say they like everybody, and we know that's not the case. Not everybody celebrates, not everybody celebrates in the same way, but yes, they certainly. The people that I speak to in the spirit world certainly acknowledge and often do celebrate. But at the same time, they often will also draw close to their family to try to let you all know we're here, we're okay. They try to draw close to you, get your attention. Hey, don't be sad, that sort of thing. We're here with you. So the time is coming, right? It's in a couple of days or so. So pay attention. See if you can catch glimpses. See if you can get the signs from him that he's trying desperately to show you that he is safe, that he is well, and that he hasn't really gone anywhere. He's still there with you. So do pay attention to those signs. Chris.
So the Queen of Shades responded back to you, said, I was thinking the same thing because I miss my brother. If I ask my brother who has passed, can he tell or show me what happened to him in my dreams?
Yes, but you have to be very patient and you have to be very aware because often when our loved ones in the spirit world come to us and they give us messages or they show us things, we don't always understand what the meaning is. We have to sit and think about it. We have to ponder on it. So be patient. I'm sure that if and it sounds to me, and Grey Eagle tells me, yes, that you are very close to your brother, perhaps closer now than you ever were before his passing, that he will try to show you and to explain to you what happened. So be patient and wait and let him do his thing. Okay, Chris.
Lisa's saying, after the losses of 4 special people by the end of 2021, I no longer have tears these days. I feel that I am moving along nicely into my lifetime direction of animal communications.
Oh, nice.
In a 1 day adventure, I had 4 deer, 4 eagles, and 4 pillars of light shine down on my husband of 2 years. I felt so much love. That evening, I had a huge peach breasted hawk visit. Since that night, the neighbor's dog keeps visiting, totally running inside of my house with my other 2 dogs. Something feels off, but I cannot put my finger on it. Maybe since my mind is clear and my losses are not so hurtful, I am open to help, but I am not sure what it is being asked of me. So far, just resting, nappy time with the extra dog by my side.
Well, I feel that perhaps they're looking to you for some healing. Maybe they're looking to you because they know you're a communicator. So they're looking for you to help and understand them. Perhaps a neighbour's dog needs a little love, a little comfort, a little healing, and you do have that touch. So think about that. If you're in touch with animals, if you're sensitive enough to be aware of them in the way that you are, then you're sensitive enough to understand them. And sometimes, our animals can't speak to us in the way we speak to each other, but they do speak to us. And so you need to watch for the signs. If that puppy from next door is coming to visit you often, there's something that he wants from you, and it could just simply be um, a pat on the head, or a bit of a hug, or a cuddle, or just simply acknowledgement. Just to acknowledge that that he's around. He obviously likes your house, because otherwise, and he likes the energy because he's obviously coming in and out and visiting. Maybe there's a bit of jealousy because your own animals are getting all of your energy, and maybe he wants a little of it. Interesting. Animals are amazing, aren't they? Amazing. All right, keep going.
Barbara says 2 weeks ago, my sister and I were at a favorite Chinese restaurant that we often went with our loved ones. When I was talking about my husband, the lights over our booth flashed twice. Was that my husband? And a few
Well,
minutes later, they were playing Italian music, which was strange. Was that my dad? Where was my mom? I felt surrounded by them. Was this real?
of course, if that's what you're feeling, and that's so funny. I've never been in a Chinese restaurant and heard Italian music playing. So uh, someone obviously was inspiring. You obviously needed this too, and I'm sure your husband gets up to all sorts of tricks. So yes, if that's what you're feeling when it happens, go with those feelings. Absolutely.
All right. Leslie saying, also a happy birthday to my Navajo friend, Marlin, who takes great care of the dogs at the Round Valley Animal Rescue.
The Round Valley Animal Rescue. Now, I wonder where that is. And you're going to tell me it's in Round Valley, aren't you? Well, where is Round Valley? We want to know. Where are you? And happy birthday to, I know it begins with an M. Did she say Mark? Or she didn't say Mark.
Marlin.
Marlon. Marlon, that's it. So happy birthday to Marlon. And, in my book, anyone who goes to these centers and takes care of animals, yeah, in my book, they are special people. So happy birthday, Marlon. You must be a very special person. So, yes, keep going, Chris. We're having a lot of birthday wishes, aren't we,
It does seem that way.
this morning?
So the next comment has to do with the pendulum. You might want to explain what kind of things you can do with a pendulum. But Eric is saying he's looking at a rental later and bringing his pendulum.
He's looking into what?
A rental.
Oh, he's looking into rental and bringing his penny. Good for you. I like that idea, Mark. Um,
No, this was from Eric.
oh, sorry, from Eric. Sorry, why am I getting muddled up here? Good for you, Eric. That's exactly what you should do, because you'll be able to tell the energy. I'm not going to explain what pendulums do. You can go into my books and read my books. They're amazing. Maybe we'll have a webinar on pendulums. Maybe that's what we'll do. Oh yes, wouldn't we like to do that? Anyone who's interested, email me and we'll see what we can do. Maybe even, let me see. Um, maybe I can next Thursday. Here you go. I'll tempt you all. Next Thursday, I will give you a little demonstration and talk about pendulums a little bit, so that you'll know, and you can go and make your own, and you'll know what to do with them and so on. So maybe next Thursday we'll do a little bit of that. How about that for an idea? See, Eric, you've given us an idea as to what to do. So yes, join me next Thursday. We'll be answering questions. We'll be doing all of that, but I'll give you a little bit of pendulum time, and I'll show you how to make a pendulum. Show you how to use a pendulum, even. Yeah. Okay, Chris.
Leslie had responded that or maybe it was Marlin, is from the Springerville, Arizona area.
Well, one of my favorite places. Don't you love Arizona? I love Arizona. I really do love Arizona. There's something very special about Arizona. There's something very special about Phoenix, Sedona. There's something very special about the mountains. Of course, it's Apache country. I'm just laughing at Grey Eagle, saying, well, we know why it's special because that's where Grey Eagle lived so many years ago. And that's where the Apache finally hid out in the Superstition Mountains, which I have, yes, and no, you won't believe me, but I have climbed, gone into the Superstition Mountains with my boots and all the rest of it, and had a fabulous time there. Fabulous energy, really, truly fabulous energy. Unfortunately, because man does do this, encroach on what is special and often what is sacred. Unfortunately, the houses are popping up now at the foot of the superstitions all over the place. Nobody has any care for, you know, the idea of sacred ground or spiritual ground in those areas. It just seems that the builders and the construction people think they can just do what they like, and it does seem as if nobody's going to stop them, doesn't it? When I first went to the superstitions, the Apache Trail was well, it was a little dangerous to drive on, but I drove on it anyway, and it was amazing. There was nothing built up. There was nothing there. It was just purely as it has been for since the world began, and it was just an amazing place. Now you go, there's a lake with speedboats and sailboats, and there's a hotel being built. And yes, I understand it's a great place to be, but boy, oh boy, man does some terrible things to this earth of ours, don't you think? Anyway, keep going. Keep going, Chris.
Marcella, who's in Vermont, says, please keep praying for Brian and I love you.
Oh, thanks, Marcella. And of course, we'll keep praying for him. Please let us know how he's doing. And how are you doing? It's been a while, right?
Marisol says, hi everyone. My cat stares at a fixed point on the wall and follows it. What can this
Oh,
mean?
well, cats are well, animals are very, very intuitive and very aware of what's going on. So he's obviously seeing something interesting that perhaps you're not seeing. I love that name, Marisol. It's a lovely name. I knew of a Marisol. I'm trying to think where I knew of a Marisol, but it's a lovely name. Your cat, pay attention to see if you can see what your kitty is up to. See if you can see what your kitty sees. We had a just a by the by. We had a few days ago. We found what looked like a little infestation of little bugs or creatures in the floorboards in my sunroom, and I did have a sleepless night that night because I was thinking, please don't let it be termites. Um, and the next day, the bug guy came, took one look, and I described what was going on, and he said, "Oh, right," he said, "they're ghost ants." And I thought, how appropriate that in my house we should have ghost ants. And they're harmless and they love the damp and they just happen to come in out of the cold for a minute or two. They're not there anymore. But yeah, ghost ants. So I don't know where that came from. Marisol, I'm sure your kitty is seeing things that you don't see. See if you can see too. Okay, Chris.
I think last question, since we're about at time, is from the Queen of Shades, asking, do you have any advice on her pursuit or their pursuit to become an RN?
Hmm. Let me see. Do I have any advice? Go for it. Don't stop until you've got it. Um, it's odd. I had this conversation with somebody else fairly recently. Um, you know, being an being an RN is sort of perhaps the ultimate in nursing. I mean, there are matrons and so on and so forth, but being an RN is a really, perhaps it stretches you a little bit. Perhaps you're afraid that you're going to fail. It can be expensive, but there are grants that you can get that help you towards that. But my feeling here is, my little queen, get on with it. Stop procrastinating, because I know you've been procrastinating. You've been worried, you've been nervous. You'll do really, really well. So get on with it. No more procrastinating, and no more from me this morning. So this is it. And thank you, everyone, for joining me this morning. I'm sorry I've been coughing and sneezing and spluttering a bit today, but it is what it is. Summer's coming soon, and all that good stuff, and sunshine and vitamin C and all of that. So I'm looking forward to that. I know some of you are thinking, "Oh, you mad? Summer in Vermont?" But actually, really looking forward to the spring. Uh, I'm also really looking forward to going to see my grandson, because I shall be off sometime around the middle of February. His birthday is on the 14th. I had to think. No, sorry. His birthday is on the 12th, and he's 10 years old. And then on the 25th, he is one of the chosen few to play at Carnegie Hall. So I'm going to go to New York, because I wouldn't miss that for the world. And so we'll be busy, but we'll still be doing the shows. But I'm afraid on that Saturday there'll be no show. So that's on the 25th of February. So make a note. I shan't be doing anything other than being with my grandson on that day. Um, there are lots of exciting things for all of us to look forward to, even if it's only that we can look forward to being with our loved ones in the spirit world, talking to them, connecting with them, being aware of them. You're never alone, remember. There's always someone to talk to, there's always somebody listening. So, for those of you who I know sometimes get a little lonely and a little lost, reach out to your loved ones in the spirit world. They will help you, they will guide you, they will steer you. I promise you. I really do promise you. Um, until I see you again, I'd like to say thank you to Chris. Uh, of course, as always, thank you to Grey Eagle for doesn't he do such a great job? Don't you love him? I love him. And thank you once again to all of you for joining me, for watching me, and for being so supportive of what we do. Until I see you again, Saturday morning story time, and next Thursday. If you have a pendulum, bring it along next Thursday. If you don't have a pendulum, well, I'll show you how to make one. Simple as that. All right. So, until I see you again, please, everybody, have a very, very blessed rest of the day, and have a very blessed weekend, everybody. Bye bye.